What's going on, everybody? I'm Jack Savage with talkSPORT, joined by Jets defensive tackle Harrison Phillips. Harrison, how's it going, man?
It's going well, man. Excited for another opportunity, especially in the division and then prime time as
So
well.
yeah, can you talk about the start this year? I'm sure not what you guys imagined. 0-3, a tight one week one. The Bills got you in week two, and then a crazy game last week in Tampa. Can you talk about Aaron Glenn's message so far going into this enormous Monday night game against the Dolphins, who are also 0-3? So it's going to get going, I
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah. I guess a couple things. One, we don't want to make the game, an enormous game. That's every. I always say this as a often. I say, hey, this is the most important week of the season. Well, why? Because it's the next one. And then next week is going to be the most important week of the season. Why? Because it's the next one. And that's some of my messaging. To your question about AG, he's been, in my short time here, as consistent of a coach as I've ever been around. The messaging has been the exact same throughout my time here. And it's elite messaging. It's what helped them flip the Lions around and be a part of that organization and bringing all he learned there through his experience as a player and a coach here to New York. And so, obviously we've been frustrated. It's okay to be frustrated, but you have to be able to overcome that quickly and then put on a growth mindset and say, how can I learn and be a better version of myself? And although we have a young team, we have a mature team that's trying to do that.
Nice. You mentioned your short time in New York. You were traded right before the season. Can you talk about how difficult that is? You're an eighth year vet, so this isn't you've been around, you've seen some things, but can you just talk about showing up a couple weeks before the regular season and how some of the challenges and maybe just going from Brian Flores, who has been the man and is the man in his defenses, to AG, some similarities there.
Yeah, I'll go back. I think most players, if they could draw their dream career, probably start with being the first overall pick in the NFL draft would probably be the start, and then it would probably be to be with an organization for your entire career. Hall of Fame, 15 years, all in one place. Not many players dream or hope to be cut or traded in their career. Now, the reality of it is, I'm going to pull this number out of my ass, but I'm going to say 90% of people, 95% of people will get cut or traded in their career. I had hoped that that wasn't going to be the case for me. And when I did get traded, just like anything in life, you take a moment and let the emotions run its full course. But then you say, okay, I'm in a new chapter of this book, and how can I make this the greatest chapter I've had? And so my mindset now is that I'm going to be a Jet for as long as I can and retire a Jet years and years down the road. Um, when the trade happened, uh, like you mentioned, being a vet, seeing how this thing goes, I didn't really have a lot of concerns for myself. I knew that I would, I'm going to go in, brand new team, brand new organization, and I'll figure it out. I'm going to, change scheme. It's a 4-3 versus a 3-4. My technique has to change. I have a whole new playbook with brand new tendencies and brand new verbiage, but I'm going to figure that stuff out. My biggest stresses and worries were about my wife and my son. I have a 4-month-old baby, so he was just turning 3 months old when this had happened. We have a dog, we have a house, and trying to figure out a way to get them with me. So I ended up having to go a handful of weeks without my family, and my wife was very stressed about finding ways to get up here, flying with a baby, flying with a dog. Where are we going to live? How can we do all this? What about our house there? And so the personal side of the trade was extremely difficult. But getting here, getting my nose into football, learning the playbook, learning the scheme, learning the coaching staff, learning my teammates was probably the easy part. And then I know this is a long-winded answer, but my game still isn't fully developed to what I'll be. I see my individual production and technique and performance improving, but I'm still not where I believe I can get to with, again, more logged reps. We're talking thousands of snaps in a practice or through practices and seasons, probably 10 to 12,000 snaps by the end of the season. And so I'm sure a few thousand snaps from now I'll be even better.
I mean, yeah, you bring up a great point. Like so many times, fans they just look at the transaction wire and just see name blank to new team cut traded, and people forget that you guys are real people with families and have to deal with what comes with being a professional NFL player and being a family
He's
man. So
frozen.
I'm sure that's extremely difficult. Can you speak on playing for Brian Flores the last few seasons and playing in Aaron Glenn's defense? Some similarities, maybe not like you said scheme wise, but just personality wise.
Yeah, I guess actually personality wise, they're fairly similar personality. They want to be aggressive, you know, discipline, playmakers playing, making plays, um, you know, having corners in the fit, requiring everyone to do their 111th. Now they do it in very different ways, but I would say their core values of how they view defense is very similar.
Nice. And all right, a couple last few things before we go. You're headed to London in a couple weeks to play the Broncos. I believe it's going to be your third time playing in London. Is that correct?
Yep.
Nice. And I know you had a Peaky Blinders outfit last year that some of the guys at talkSPORT
Yeah.
were showing me, and they love that. I don't want you to give anything away, but have you thought about um, you know going to London for a third time? You're kind of seasoned to be going overseas. Have you thought about the experience, what you're looking forward to? Do you still look forward to it? Things of that nature.
Yeah, you know, physically on the body, it's really tough. It's a tough trip, and you hear sometimes the NFL PA or other players voice their concerns around that. From the human element, it is very exciting. You get to go to a new country, you get a nice seat on a plane with 50 of your best friends. I mean, that's really cool. My family will not make the trip this year with such a young kid, so I'll definitely miss my family. But yeah, I definitely have some excitement. I think I've heard that we might be there a few extra days, so I can actually enjoy or see a thing or two. So that's exciting. And yeah, my favorite show of all time is the Peaky Blinders, which obviously has some London ties. So I'm rewatching the Peaky Blinders for like the 11th time, and I'm sure I'll finish it again before we get up there. And so, man, if I can make the small Heath rifles happy, I'll be good.
Nice. All right. Last question before you get out of here, and don't take offense to this. I'm a UCLA Bruin, so we're in the pits. And you're a Stanford Cardinal. What have you seen? With Andrew Luck in town recently in the last year or so, and you guys are 1-3, I believe. So still not the wins haven't come yet. But what do you see with Luck there and the trajectory of your program?
What years were you at UCLA?
2015 to 2019.
Okay, so I think you were a part of the like 13 years that UCLA didn't beat Stanford. Is that right?
I've been told and have witnessed and experienced.
Oh, okay. Well, I had to have something to lean on because no, as of late, Stanford football hasn't been what it used to be. It is a shame. I think the landscape of college sports has really hurt Stanford, which is from a university standpoint prides itself so much on the academic side of things. Um, I am optimistic about what Andrew Luck can do, but I'm also a little bit hesitant because if Luck can't turn the program around, man, who the heck can? But I know that we've had some young players who've been having some good individual seasons and individual games performances. Collectively, it's not the record that they want. I'm really bummed about the Pac-12 no longer. I think if you talk about student athletes traveling all the way to the ACC and back every week, that's terrible. My heart and feeling goes out to Stanford. I hope that they get it right, and I've let them know I'd love to be a resource if I ever could be.
Yeah, hopefully there's brighter days ahead for both of our programs. Um,
Yeah, amen.
Harrison, I appreciate you taking the time. Good luck on Monday, and thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks so
Awesome.
much.